Hi there, this is John Paul Guidry with Guidry Golf and Sport and Guidry Physical Therapy. I wanted to take a few minutes today to give a little advice on proper nutritional and dietary habits. There's a lot of misinformation out there today on good diets, bad diets, which ones are better than others. But the reality is a lot of different diets work, and the things you want to stay away from is more real restrictive diets, where you're leaving out a bunch of specific types of food. While those things can be somewhat effective short term, they don't tend to last long term because they're difficult to stick to, and a lot of times people tend to put the weight back on. Rather, what we want to talk about today is maybe just some simple habit changes you can make to the way you go about eating and preparing your food to get you on the road to maybe a little healthier diet. Whether your goals are losing weight, looking and feeling better, performing better, or even dealing with things like pain and injury, these changes can benefit you. So let's get started. So first I want to start by saying that a lot of these changes, a lot of these tips are taken from Precision Nutrition. You can find out more about them at www.precisionnutrition.com. They've got a plethora of free nutritional information and advice, as well as offer coaching services to help you with a more specific dietary needs for your goals. So give them a try, give that website a look. There's tons of information on there. So let's get started. First thing I want to start with is tip number one would be stop eating when you are 80% full. So this is a very easy way to kind of limit the caloric intake. We have a tendency to just eat at least until our plate is clean or just until we're really, really full. And a good way to a good change to make is just to stop when you're 80% full. Whether there's food still on the plate or whether you're still hungry, give it some time for all that to settle, and generally that hunger will kind of go away. Second tip, and this is one I kind of struggle with myself, is eat slower. So I've been working on some things with this, such as putting my fork or spoon down in between bites, make sure I'm chewing it a frequent amount of times, and even things like taking breaths in between bites. I have a tendency to be a real quick eater. What happens with that? You eat real fast, your body hasn't had a chance to kind of start to digest things and get that signal to stop eating, so you tend to eat more. And so this can kind of lead to overeating and increased calories taken in throughout the day. Tip number three is just slowly making better choices. So the way you go about this, instead of just cutting out carbs or strictly cutting something out of your diet, just slowly take it out little by little and replace it with maybe some healthier choices. So ways you can do this is things like controlling your portion size. So when you're filling up your plate with food, put the vegetables, greens on there first and make that your biggest portion. Secondly, would be some healthy proteins, lean proteins such as chicken, fish, lean beef, eggs, legumes, beans, other sources of good lean protein. And then lastly would be your starches, your carbohydrates, your processed foods, that type of thing. So you're just slowly transitioning over. We're eating a little more of the healthier stuff and not as much of the processed stuff or the high caloric stuff. Another good option, another good tip is keeping a food journal. So you don't necessarily have to track details, calories, proteins, fat, carbohydrates. You can definitely do all that if you choose, but really just kind of writing down what you eat every day for each meal. We have a tendency to kind of underestimate how much food we're eating throughout a day, and this is a good way to really get a true idea of what we're eating, how much we're actually eating, and where we might need to make some changes in our diet and nutritional habits to better meet our goals. So a good way to do this is track it and write it down, kind of go back and look and see where maybe you may need to make some changes or improvements to head towards your goals. So give all these a try. Again, this is not an easy thing to do, although these tips are fairly simple to implement. Doesn't mean they're easy. Inevitably you will kind of fail from time to time, and that's okay. You know, that's just human nature. You know, the goal is just to kind of continue to make progress and make some better decisions, rather than trying to kind of do it all at once or take a real restrictive approach to this. So again, whether your goals are losing weight, feeling better, looking better, performing better on the field, or just even recovering from things like pain, surgery, injuries, you know, making some better nutritional choices and better habits around how and what you eat will help you meet those goals. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you and have a nice day.